This is Turboant's M10 Lite electric scooter, and while it is indeed lightweight, its performance may actually surprise you. Is it a good commute tool to consider? Let's inspect! Hey everybody, good to meet you. I'm Michael, Tech for All here. We expect a lot of cool tech, and this clearly is a budget electric scooter, but given what's going on with the prices now in 2023, when I hear that a good new electric scooter has been launched at the price of just $300, I am all ears. And this is the M10 Lite by Turboant with very promising specifications, and it has a few minutes to prove us that it is a worthy choice or to totally disappoint us, so just watch. M10 Lite by Turboant falls in the same category where Mi Scooter Lite editions belong, namely offering the basics plus some good build quality and user experience based on the higher end models. It's the same with Segway's 9-bot deals, so I think that if Turboant's alternative is better than those, it has pretty good chances to gain some attention, especially knowing that Turboant operate via their own website only and seem to not be available through other platforms yet. The unboxing and the initial setup procedures are rather straightforward. The box is not that heavy, and it looks like you're gonna be fine with doing the setup on your own. It's only 14 kilograms, one more than the Mi Scooter 3 Lite alternative, but this still counts as lightweight. There is of course installation guide as part of the user manual, and I'll save you some minutes of reading by saying that all you need to do is to get rid of the transportation protective layers, carefully unfold, mount the handlebar, there are a few screws involved. I'm just noting that the provided hex tools are of terrible quality, and I wish I had my own toolset with me that day. After the handlebar, you have to mount the fender. It's one of these plastic type fenders, which have no support to the wheel, so I would definitely avoid stepping on top of it, and will for sure be concerned about its durability while testing. Since the tires are pneumatic, I'd also check the tire pressure and of course charge the battery to full if needed. Good news is that there is no smartphone app involved, so the scooter doesn't have to go through a registration or activation procedure. Design-wise, there are a lot of things that remind of the Mi Scooter series, the tires which have the same size, even the shapes and the construction. The tube is a bit wider, the folding mechanism seems to be reliable. What I really like is the absence of any wires or cables in the lower area, and that's rare to be seen with such e-scooters these days. A nice and rather wide deck, apparently disc brake on the rear and no suspension involved. Concerning the specs, they're promising a 350-watt motor, 2 riding modes, close to 25 km range per battery charge, dual braking system, 3-step folding mechanism, 15% climbing ability, invisible wiring, cruise control, anti-glare display, a USB charging port and weight of around 14 kilograms. All of that within the price of $320, which I know is hard to believe yet. So if it was just because of the specifications, I was about to recommend this electric scooter right away. But we're here for the testing and for the analysis, and we want to take a closer look into some of the components. There's nothing remarkable about the setup. So the tires, 8.5 inch, they're not as comfortable as the 10-inch tires. I'm not really sure if conversions are easy to achieve. There's a motor in the front wheel, which is supposed to be more powerful than what we get with the Mi Scooter Lite 3, and we're about to find out very soon whether that's true or not. In terms of design, about the same. The folding mechanism so far does well, and there's generously enough space for your feet on the deck. It's wide enough. The only alarming part so far is the battery, 238 watt-hours, which based on my previous experience with similar setups might not be enough in order to provide long enough range, and the promised maximum is around 25. So let's go ahead and see how the rest feels. The motor performance is nothing that remarkable if we compare to the top-tier scooters, but is almost on par with the dynamic mode of Mi Scooter 4 Pro, so it is pretty capable for a city scooter. Acceleration is good, top speed is easily reached. I've recently tried to do a motor beast called InMotion Climber, which accelerates from 0 to 25 km per hour within 3.5 seconds. Here you clearly have to wait for a longer period of time, but at least it can easily maintain that speed on a flat road, because Navi N40 was not able to do that while I was testing it a few weeks ago. Let's say that Turboant did not axe the performance component, and this is well appreciated. What feels a little cropped though is the battery endurance. It is nowhere near the champions in this niche, but at the same time not any worse than similarly priced models. If you ride at moderate speeds, 15 to 20 kilometers are achievable even for riders of 90 kg weight like me. If you accelerate to the max, avoid cruise control and don't care about increasing the range at all, then be prepared for around 12 to 13 kilometers in the winter time. As you may know, the batteries perform a lot better when temperatures are around 20 degrees Celsius and discharge happens at a gentle pace. Climbing up hills is not among the key strengths of M10 Lite, but it can still well handle areas within up to 15% inclines. If the hill is steeper than that, you're expected to kick support it from time to time. In terms of comfort, the M10 Lite feels very similar to Mi Scooter's first, second and third generations, because they have the same size and tires. The position of your body and some of the scooter dimensions are about the same as well. If you ride on flat roads, feeling is great. If the way has grainy structure or is paved, then you're gonna most likely feel not that comfortable, but the pneumatic tires most certainly soften the most unpleasant bumps. Still, if your budget allows you to go for an e-scooter with larger tires, think about that option too. Turboant X7 Max is one of these much smoother choices. What is good to note is that the ground clearance of M10 Lite is also very good, being 80 mm. The deck also generously wide, among the best in its class, so this is yet another component well done by Turboant. You may well remember my comments about the fenders. Just make sure to be extra gentle and careful with the rear one. In terms of safety features, braking experience has been very consistent. Front motor brake plus a rear disc brake, and that's a standard setup and it is reliable. The scooter can stop within just a few meters, even if you brake from the top speed, and during the whole time of testing, I've never felt nervous about braking efficiency. There are front and rear lights, well visible at dark, and you can keep them on during the day so that the other participants in the traffic can notice you. The folding mechanism is okay. I can't say it's perfect, but within the first 100 kilometers of riding in Sofia, it feels alright, and I promise that my city is among the most challenging locations about stress testing of e-scooters ever. There are no weird noises coming out of the mechanism or loose elements. The stem is lengthy, not extendable though. Handlebar also feels good. I wish it was a little wider. This is always better in terms of control, but on the other side, a narrow construction takes less space in the car's trunk, and I believe this is among the top priorities when Turboant have been designing the M10 Lite. In terms of equipment, there's the brake handle, the acceleration lever, there's a mechanical bell and a display which shows your speed in real time and also keeps you informed about the battery discharge level. Oh, and a kind reminder that if you add a smartphone stand, you can connect and charge it via the provided USB port. That's a nice feature. So far, it all sounds good, but are there any things that require attention or improvement? You know, such a thorough inspection always helped me to discover such. I already complained about the quality of the tools. The folding mechanism, which, although reliable so far, seems to not be that perfect and bulletproof. There is no smartphone app support, and range at speed mode 2 can be somewhat short if you don't care about efficient riding. But despite the drawbacks, $320, and I think this is how far budget electric scooters can go in 2023, or at least the Turboant M10 Lite in particular. It's not bad at all. It's true that it has zero innovation, because Turboant seem to play it safe here. implementing mostly parts which are rather well settled, and they're cutting the right corners. And when we compare to the Mi Scooter Lite series, I think in terms of design and construction they are comparable. In terms of motor, this here is slightly better, a wider deck for better comfort, and the battery life, which is not that great, but again, if we think about the price, it's hard to squeeze more at the given budget. So that's everything about the M10 Lite by Turboant. Hopefully that's been useful, and in case you have some follow-up questions, be invited. The comment section is down below the video. As usual, more information about the product, a discount code maybe included as well, you're going to find in the video description area. And thank you very much for watching this episode. I'm Michael, and look forward to seeing you in the next one. Enjoy your day.